Luxury South African destinations. Opulent spaces designed for absolute comfort, secluded lodges hidden far from the rest of the busy world, destinations so exclusive that only a select few will ever get to experience them, and fine dining that so easily rivals the finest restaurants on the globe. These are all the hallmarks of a luxury holiday, and in Africa, the travel styles, accommodation options, and the destinations that cater to those with more exquisite tastes are nearly endless. Luxury South African destinations in particular have become the holiday of choice for high-end travel, with a range of out-of-this-world destinations that travelers love. If you are the type of traveler who prefers private facilities, gourmet dining, slower-paced tours, personal guides, private transfers, and if you want to experience the very best of South Africa, minus the crows, these are the top luxury South African destinations that you should have on your travel radar. What are the most exclusive places to visit in South Africa? South Africa is home to plenty of much-beloved travel destinations. Of all the luxury destinations, places like Sabi Sands always get mentioned, but there's a whole constellation of quieter, ultra-exclusive destinations that are spoken of quietly within the travel world, out of fear that they might become too popular and lose the very characteristics that make them so appealing to luxury travelers. For travelers like you who are looking to experience real grandeur, these are the luxury South African destinations to visit. The Cape Winelands. Where do billionaires stay in South Africa? Of all the luxury South African destinations, high-end travelers love to visit the Cape Winelands, and Franschhoek in particular. Franschhoek is luxury personified, especially as it is home to a tiny population of just 1,100 people, far fewer than the other towns in the area. Its culture of luxury is deeply steeped in its heritage, and when traveling around here, you'll frequently encounter boutique estates that pair fine wines with world-class gastronomy. Every town in the winelands is unique in one way or another, and along with Franschhoek being one of the best luxury South African destinations, you can also find refined experiences in other Cape Winelands towns like Tulbagh, Stellenbosch, Robertson, Wellington, and Ceres. Timbavati Private Nature Reserve. A whole world away from the windswept Cape Winelands and just north of the Sabi Sands Private Reserve, the Timbavati region is home to some of the most discreet luxury game lodges in South Africa. At most of these lodges, the pace is designed to be slow. No one is rushing you to breakfast, and while on a game drive, you are likely to have the scene all to yourself. On top of that, the lodges are designed to be extravagant, with the most incredible rooms and on-site gourmet dining. In Timbavati, you won't be contending with busy safari vehicles or day travelers either, as the reserve is exclusively for those staying at the lodges. Finda Private Game Reserve. A luxury safari is an instant upgrade to the conventional safari experience. It somehow allows guests to have an authentic and even rustic safari stay, but with all of the trappings of luxury. Finda Private Game Reserve, a place that is immensely committed to conservation while at the same time being dedicated to giving guests an exquisite holiday, is one of the top luxury South African destinations. The reserve spans a massive 29,866 hectares, and a lot of the ecosystems here are a result of intensive restoration projects. Set in Muniwana Conservancy in KwaZulu-Natal, you can enjoy an extraordinary safari, complete with sightings of the Big Five on one day and sitting on a dreamy beach, with the Indian Ocean lapping at your feet on the next. De Hoop Nature Reserve. The idyllic Western Cape of South Africa is best known for its wine farms, but it's also a great place to reconnect with nature. De Hoop Nature Reserve is 34,000 hectares of fynbos, ocean vistas, and mountains. One of the greatest pulls to the reserve is that guests can enjoy a spot of whale watching from the dunes at Kapi Aline, when every year southern right whales, about 120 of them, swim into the reserve to mate. Day hikes, bird watching, and mountain biking are also popular in the reserve. As for luxury, a stay at lodges like Mokoro Beach Lodge, De Man Villa, and Melkamer Manor House will treat you to a 5-star experience. Tswalu Kalahari Reserve. Accommodating only a handful of guests at any time, The experience of staying at the remote Swallow Kalahari Reserve can feel similar to being in your own personal African wilderness. It's not just the remoteness that makes it one of the best luxury South African destinations. Guests staying in the reserve enjoy personalized itineraries, dune dinners, and the most beautiful scenery. How long do you need for a luxury South African tour? An honest answer would be as much time as you have to spare. Luxury South African destination and the tours they offer are the kinds of holidays that should be slowly enjoyed, as one of the biggest perks of booking such a trip is that they give you the time to indulge in a more laid-back pace. That said, with so many different types of tours, the amount of time you need for your holiday is going to depend somewhat on where you plan to go and what you'd like to do. A well-paced safari plus city plus coast journey generally requires between 10 and 14 days, with 12 or 13 days being the most ideal amount of time. Any more and you'll find yourself glancing at your watch on a dawn game drive instead of losing hours watching a leopard melt back into the bush, and any less will have you bolting down a three-course lunch at La Colombe because the afternoon flight to the Winelands won't wait. Shorter trips can work, of course, but they often leave you with that faint, nagging sense of having only just skimmed the surface of something profound. Private reserves in particular are not made for haste. These places are made for slow experiences like watching the sunrise while drinking coffee as elephants amble past the camp, or indulging in a slow midday float in a plunge pool with nothing but birdsong and the occasional distant roar to distract you. You can't experience or truly appreciate any luxury South African destinations in a wild 48-hour dash. If you are planning a trip to multiple places, having at least 2 weeks is ideal. You can be in Sabi Sand 1 week, and then spend a week in the Cape's mountains, vineyards, and wild Atlantic edge the next. Or you can spend a few unhurried nights in Franschhoek, tasting your way through the town, and then spend a week falling in love with Hermanus, and still leave with the satisfaction of someone who has truly arrived, rather than someone who is merely passing through. In short, 10 days is great, 12 days is indulgent, 14 days is the dream when visiting luxury South African destinations. Anything longer and you risk never wanting to come home, which frankly is a risk many of us are willing to take. What makes South Africa so special? That South Africa is often dubbed a land of contrasts is not just some clever marketing. Of all the countries in Africa, South Africa is about the only place where wildlife sightings can take place beside world-class cuisine, and where small-scale exclusivity sits comfortably next to dramatic landscapes that have been shaped by centuries. The warmth of the people and the local hospitality also make the country special. In luxury South African destinations, the people you encounter working in lodges will remember your name, your preferred tea, and the way you like your pillows arranged. Guides give you a personal experience, and chefs go out of their way to make you delicious food. Does ATC offer luxury South African tours? Absolutely, and we do it with style. Since 1997, Africa Travel Concept, ATC, has been creating luxury tour itineraries that include the best experiences and activities and the most exclusive accommodation. We steer clear of anything generic, as we firmly believe that understanding what our clients truly want from their African escape, and then refining the itinerary endlessly until luxury expectations feel fully honored, is the only way to travel to Africa. In the almost 30 years that we have been guiding guests, we've become well known for arranging all-inclusive Safari South Africa experiences that wrap guests in comfort while keeping the safari essence intact. With our luxury tours, you can look forward to a warm service, intimate wildlife moments, and serene evenings that feel far removed from the world's rush. Our tours cover most of the countries in Southern Africa, but South Africa has a special place in our hearts and is the destination of choice for many luxury travelers. We recommend having a look at our luxury garden route and safari tour, our whales and white lions tour, and our selection of Rovos rail tours if you are looking for the best luxury South African destinations. So, which luxury South African destinations will you visit?